Learn a dip in your hip, a glide in your stride. Welcome to the mothership, the home of the travelers of the universe, with shows throughout the week. Everything you want, everything you could need. From the paranormal to the supernatural, from the spiritual to the unknown, from emotions to comedy. You can find us at Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and so much more. This is R.I.F.T Nation Network, the RNN. And now, your featured show. Shall we begin?
Nice.
Good evening, travelers and those alike. Welcome to the Orion Effect. Here we have a family of people tonight. We have Mama Susan Raven sitting in for Rhonda. That way. And our special guest tonight is Jonathon Keyworth from JK47 Paranormal, along with sitting in as special co-host to my left, which you will see to my right, which is my left, is Robert Odell in the house. What a great weekend. I know we're doing the whole Partridge Family Brady Bunch thing here.
Hey.
Oh, Don boy. So let's kick this pig. Oh, I haven't said that in a long time. Let's kick this pig. What a great weekend. I know a lot of people had a lot going on. We had some stuff going on here at 360 on National Ghost Hunting Day. NGHD. Yes. Last night. Some interesting stuff going all over the place. So let me pop in real quick. I know you were chilling last night.
I was watching from the house.
Yeah, he was watching the live short version of what was going. We learned a lot of lessons here last night on power and Wi-Fi connection and connection in general, and then what the spirits can do to take care of that for you. Yeah, it was crazy last night. So, Susan, what did you do last night?
Well, I watched a little bit of the show, and then I had other stuff that I've been doing to get things back up and running. But yeah, I can't see any of you right now, just so you know, on a phone. I can't see any of you. I can't see words. I know that one's there, and that's about all I can see.
Are we small? Are we just small?
No, I'm legally blind in one eye, so I can't see on a phone. So I'm winging it. So yeah,
You're doing
I
good.
know.
Chat. We're doing good.
I'm doing good. So I got a bunch of blur, so I won't be able to see expression. So let's get this going.
Okay.
So, but yeah, National Ghost Hunting Day. That's awesome.
Yeah, great time. Hello, Julie. Stump is in the house. Hello. Thank you for tuning in. Jonathon, what did you do for
didn't have any investigations planned, so I did the next best thing and I went and sung karaoke.
Oh, okay. That's a hell of
Okay,
a
what was your first song?
The first one was "Creep" by Radiohead.
Okay, all right, you're cool then. I like Creep. I'll take that.
Hold on a minute. You didn't sing the warning,
No,
help dust, or anything like that, or era, or I'm sorry.
Who? What?
The
Creed,
warning.
Godsmack, yeah.
yeah, Godsmack, Voodoo. Yeah.
That's right. Now you're hitting it.
Yeah, it is.
My girls.
Yeah, I hear you. We do want to give a little shout out to the people who are supporting us. Definitely want to give a shout out to Traffic Experiment for the amazing intro to this show. We want to make sure they get credit, as you see on the bottom line. You'll see where you can find them on YouTube. Also, to Mr. Lobatos, who gives the intro to the show, helps us out there. Giving him props for that, Jacob. And we want to give props to here the Cabin on 360. Shameless plug, right there. It's right there.
Thanks, guys.
That's right. Thank you guys for letting us go live from the cabin itself, which is tonight is a paranormal show. As you know, we've got Jonathon on. Big time. He's been into it a long time too, and we can't wait to hear his story. But here at the cabin, if you do not know, the cabin is an active location, and we encourage the activity here. So actually, Kenny made this great decision to open the window. So you guys, if you're paying attention and watching, if you see something come through those woods, let us know. Yeah, just drop it down. So we have some wonderful times here. I know. I saw. We need to get some binoculars.
Hey, no worries, no worries. Up in my closet, I had a 36-inch wide screen monitor my son gave me. I couldn't use, but he gave it to me. I was like, all right, yeah, it's 1420p. So now the PC he's building for me, that we almost have all the parts. So the PC that he's building for me, I can use the widescreen monitor. So I'll be golden.
You'll be good.
Yeah.
You'll be good. Well, here last night we went live. We did get the phones and the cameras to 2 locations. Unfortunately, the spirits will go with that. Drained them like a sucker with a child, and we couldn't get back up. They were so dead.
Well, I don't think it was all bad from what I observed.
No, it wasn't bad. It was just
Lisa and I did observe something. We don't know if it's acoustical audio or what, but there was a bump, and I had made a statement about the area's history, and then I heard something, and then Lisa said, "Was that an airplane?" And I said, "I don't think so."
Actually, we didn't have hardly any aircraft going over last
Well,
night.
Yeah, that was the thing. When I was first listening, it sounded like it kept like somebody had God, what do you call those radio things? I never used one. I always just listened to live EVP.
Subwoofer.
You know how they scan the sound?
The
but
SB7.
It sounded like it was on repeat.
Wow.
Yeah, that's when I was listening to it, because I have better ears than eyes. Gee, any question why? But I have better ears than eyes. So I got the phone up to my head like this going,
what the hell is that?
uh-huh.
That's not Ethel Sworn.
Yeah, so I got the phone up to my ears. Like, I don't care what you see, I want to hear it. So
Yeah.
I had that up to my head for a while, but I did hear a couple of things. I even heard you talking.
Yeah.
After you left the room.
Yeah.
When the light was dark, I heard you.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And that because we were trying to change audio back and forth from the basement to here in the cabin. I learned a lot of technical little things last night. So, like I said, it wasn't bad. We learned a lot. They were lessons that we learned what not to do and what to do for our next broadcasting. So it was great. I mean, we had a great time here at the cabin. Everybody got along. We actually had a really great time. It was a smaller group, but it was larger than we anticipated. Dennis did an amazing job with the intro, as always. And Ryan and I, Ryan being from the cabin and from the Vibe Network, we took our own group. So we had group number 3. We rotated from the woods to the cabin, and we got to do the rancher last, so that was interesting. So
Nice.
yeah, we missed you though. Yeah, it would have been cool if you were here last night.
Okay. I had some prior engagements with the better half, and if I didn't do them prior engagements, I would never hear the end of it.
Oh, I'm not giving you any poop about it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving along.
Moving along. So
have you guys gone over any audio yet?
No.
Damn.
And I'm going to tell you, even from the time we stopped last night, leading into this morning, last night I stayed here with Dallas and Holly Mullins. They were in the loft, and I was in the back, what we call the Pearl. Ryan kept calling it the Black Pearl. I'm like, that's hilarious. But I got no sleep. In fact, about 3:30 this morning, if we want to go there, I had something in my ear because I was laying on my side, and it got up in my ear and went, "Wake up!" And it shot me straight up. I'm like, "Leave me alone!" I'm trying. And they know what they're doing because I've been here for years, and I've stayed here plenty of times by myself.
I got here. He was exhausted. Let me tell you.
It was a long night. We went to eat breakfast with Ryan and his wonderful wife. And then I came back here. I had a small meeting with Kelsey and Travis about last night. Kelsey is my newest, and now Travis. Both of them are our newest members of ASPS. So we had a small while, did a walk, and it was a long day. But no, we haven't even touched the video audio yet, and it's going to be interesting what we find.
I think you're going to find.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
The one thing I'm glad that we have Restream is just like Blog Talk, where we're still Facebook Live, we can capture if there's any interaction. And this show's had a lot of interaction in the past 7 years. So that's the part I really do love. And they know they can interact. Sometimes you can feel them around us. Sometimes you can't. Sometimes they have a little voice, just, "Hey, Melissa." And sometimes they just want to watch the show.
Yeah.
So, we're happy to do so. We're happy to have them interact and give their opinions when they want. They're allowed, and they've done it on several occasions.
Yeah. See, I'm more of a ear to the phone to the ear listener.
Mm-hmm.
Close my eyes and listen.
Yeah.
Love that. So what about you? Do you do more of the listening or more of the visual? What's always been your thing?
When I help the families, from place to place, I feel spirit. Like I kind of feel where they're at, and I kind of narrow it down. And the first nights are usually pretty quiet. I think that's when the spirits start to feel your intentions. But always the second night, it like anything on command, like light up the cat ball, it would do it on command, or speaking through my SB7, and I get responses that are crazy. And I've had whispers in my ears. I've seen an actual apparition. I've had my hair pulled through my hat, and my hair's not long. I've had that pulled, and I think it's all in your intent when you go into the location. If you want to learn about spirit and stuff, I think they're more willing to help you, or if you're willing to help them, it's going to be quite a night. As long as you promise to help them when you're done, then
yeah. But I mean, as far as I'm sorry, Howie, as far as evidence review, everybody has a favorite pot of evidence to review. I want to know what all three of you guys' favorite piece of evidence to review is. Some is visual, some is audio, some is slowing things down. So I want to know what you guys' favorites are, all three of you guys.
That's a good question, because we actually talked about that after the event last night. There was still about 8 of us, and we were sitting around the table. It was kind of the after, the post, if you will. And we actually talked about that, and then, our experiences, the first experience we had. And I think mine is actually going over the video. For some reason, I love doing video over audio. I still like doing the audio. It's just, to me, sometimes it gets very cumbersome, and the
Yeah.
way it goes about it, because I get frustrated with the stop, go, rewind, stop, go, catch it, click, run, record it, pull. Got to pull
Yeah.
nights. I sometimes I have 8 hours of stuff to go through, and you may catch 14 or you may catch 2, but you got to listen that whole time. So you got to
Yes, you do.
parts from 212 to 222. You got to pull that out and drop it and turn it MP3 or keep it as its format. Where the video, I can sit there with a cup of coffee, just like I'm watching TV, and I'm
Yeah.
going back, and I'm not just recurring myself, but I'm going over the team's performance. The next thing is I'm going over my own performance, and I'm looking at, again, what evidence can I see? If I see an orb, can I confirm that it is a true orb, or do I pull out the notebook and go through and try to check, is that an orb?
Mm.
Is that not an orb? What if it's not? Shadow play? Can I figure out the shadow play? But the debunking part is the fun part, and then of course you come
Yeah.
across crazy stuff that happens if you have audio with your video, where your laser trigger might go off for no apparent reason, motion sensors going off.
Right.
The K2, why is it going off? Do you see anything that'll cause that effect? Those are
Well,
the
do what you always do. You don't make a final decision sometimes. You go, all right, what do you guys think it is? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to make a decision. I'm going to be a harsher skeptic than anybody. I want to know what's going on with the
Right.
deal.
Yeah.
So
And that's what I do for my viewers. Like I always make
Yeah.
sure, like I'm going to do a major part of the investigation, that I'm live, so they're seeing what I'm seeing, and they know that I can't edit this to make this stuff happen. And I love being live on investigations, but sometimes the signal sucks, but when it doesn't, it's awesome. Like my Wichita Falls case in Texas, the second night, crazy. Two cat balls going off. I got the 10 family members sitting behind me, and her voice is coming through. It's all clicking, and I just feel that love in my heart, and I can feel the energy just circulate. That's my most inspirational case.
Yeah.
She reached out to me. She a 16-year-old girl, and at that time, and her mom was murdered in the house, and it happened like a month before I got there, and I was like, oh my gosh. But she was getting touched, doors were opening and closing,
Yeah.
things were turning on and off, and I said, yeah, I'll come help you out, and I do everything for free. It's all on my dime. I'll
Yeah.
drive there or
Yeah.
fly there, and I think it, once again, it's all about your intentions when you go to a location.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, I think with me it was a little different. It was because when I first got into it, it was like, hey, we need a psychic on the team. I was like, oh my God, this is so boring. You go in, you read, and that's it, you leave. And I said, no. I know what I'm seeing. Okay, but I don't see it the way the vision is. Then again, my vision sucks. So I don't see it that way. So it's like, okay, I want people to see what I see. So I started videoing. And then I discovered, hey, I can hear this stuff. So most of the stuff that I used to do had more to do with the demonic cases. I was there videoing, replying the responses that I'm hearing live to the reverends and those that are actually blessing the house, because some of them are not always speaking English. So it wasn't like a live type thing for me. I was okay. I need help with this one. I need help with that one. So it was different individuals. So I was never really in one spot at a time. So it was just here, there, and everywhere. But as far as evidence review, I would have to say audio, because I see things differently than others. So I can't guarantee, okay, I'm seeing that. I know what I'm seeing, but is it going to come out on video? So I'd have to say audio's easier for me.
That's
Yeah.
why.
Whenever I can't go live, I always
Yeah.
make sure to include the timestamp on the video, so they can see what was edited and what wasn't. So
Exactly. I think really that's why we bring everything to the table in our group, because
Yeah.
there is no one, this is it. Everybody, there's a collective vote. And then if there's a doubt, if you throw it out, we know that
Yep.
that's the golden rule. So
Yep.
we all say, I either heard this, or this. That's what it comes down to. Not one person goes, I found this. Well, what did you find? And let's all determine together.
Yeah,
This is
definitely. It's in the other room. No, I clip and ship. That's all I did. Whether it was a video that they sent me, and I always have my recorder going at the same time. So if my recorder was going and there was a video to actually back it up and I can match them together, then I clip and ship and send it over. Okay, I found this, you look at it. I found that, you look at it. I found this, here you go, guys, figure this out. I just clip and ship. That's all I did.
right.
Video clip, ship, gone. So it was pretty cool. I have no idea who you are, but I can't see any of the words. How you doing?
I got a
Just
shout
wave.
out.
Just smile and wave.
Yeah,
Smile and wave,
hey.
boys. Smile and wave.
I kind of got a shout out. I kind of got a feeling going on here, and I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of weird. You know about the cabin, right? Howard's talked about the cabin, but he hasn't talked about the ranch very much.
No.
The ranch
Not
next
yet.
door, a young lady was killed in 1979. The murder was solved. They know who did it.
Right.
But anyway, long story short, it's kind of ironic that Howard's show is on October the 1st. Wednesday is the young lady's birthday, October the 4th. So I want to say, from the natural world to the spiritual world, happy birthday. So
Yeah, today was the day my brother passed on 2 years ago.
Oh, God bless.
So,
a lot
yeah,
of energy going on.
actually at 4:51, at 9 minutes before the show is when he actually passed, and I could feel him with me saying, you're good, man. You're good.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
bet. Yes. So let's jump into you, Jonathan, real quick. Let's hear your story, man, because we know you have experience in the field, in the military field with the paranormal, and then it led you out of there. So, how did you get into the paranormal? And let's hear the chunky beef stew of the story.
All right. We got enough time. Are you sure?
Oh yeah, let's do this.
All right. All right. So I'll be 47 in 2 months. So back when I was 18 is when I had my first real experience that I could comprehend. I remember stuff as a kid, but this was the first one. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. Me and a buddy, we were at a club in Thornton, Colorado, and we had met these girls, and they said, have you ever seen the Riverdale Runner ghost? I was like, no, we live down south, so yeah, no. And so they took us there, and there was this parking lot, and they had like spotlights on, like they were building stuff at night, but there was nobody around. And we went to this parking lot, and we went to the northwest corner, and you stand in this spot. And as I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, what's supposed to happen? And all of a sudden, next to me in the gravel, you hear footsteps just run right by you.
Yeah.
And I got cold, and I was like, what the hell was that? And then it started over again. Like it ran by me, and then it just started over again.
Yeah.
And I couldn't explain it. I was like, nope. And I ran to my car. I was like, if you're not in the car in the next 3 seconds, you're staying here with that thing. So. But that's the fastest I ever drove home, man. I kicked those girls out of the car. I was like, I'm not talking to you anymore. Yeah. My buddy didn't get a chance to experience it, but I was like, nope.
Yeah.
And it always sat in the back of my mind, like, what was that? Like, and that's the question that started my journey. Like I started, like, really, how can that happen?
Right.
There was nothing around, and how could this energy just do that? And so time went on. I worked at Best Buy for 6 years, and then got really good at learning audio video stuff, and I got bored, so I joined the Army, and this was in 2001. And
He got bored and joined the Army.
thumbs up to the recruiter, man.
Air Force, come on.
That recruiter hook, line, and sink me, man. He showed me this video of people jumping out of planes and shooting big guns and stuff. I was like, yeah, let's do it. I want to be a ranger. So, yeah. So in January 2001, I joined the Army, went to Fort Benning, went through basic, went through airborne, went to the Ranger program, didn't make it there. So they shipped me to Fort Hood in Killeen, Texas, where I was a ground troop for that first year. And then when I first got there is when 9/11 happened. And I was out with the headquarters crew cleaning up the mount site that they were just at, like sweeping up the brass and stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember them saying, "Oh, a plane hit the World Trade Center," and then they were like, "A second plane. We need all troops back." So we went all the way back to base, and we just were ready. If they said go, we were ready to go. And then in 2003 is when I went to Iraq. And yeah, that's kind of like I don't know if thinking about what spirit was, like, if it activated something, but I tell you what, if you want to see the story, it's on the Science Channel on a show called Mission Unexplained. It's season 1, episode 3. That's where my whole story, if you want to hear that, because it takes up a lot of time, but that's where I found out, that something was looking after me, whether it be my spirit guide or guardian angel. At that time, I didn't know who it was, but I listened to these intentions, these voices I was hearing, and I listened to them, and it made me home. So, but now I live with the regret of some of the decisions, and I in 2020, July 2020 is when I got 100% disability from the Army, so I couldn't work anymore. So that's when JK-47 was born, and that's really when it all started. And I started looking at things scientifically, about the situation that I remembered, and I'm like, okay, how could it do that? And then go back, and then I started just putting a whole bunch of science stuff into it, and I went to my first case, and it was in Michigan, and I was helping this family out. Um, the lady was in the closet, and her husband has the antlers at the top of the closet. All the antlers threw at her, and then she's been pushed down. Things moving. And I remember when they picked me up at the airport, like, how I'm thinking to myself, what am I doing? What am I getting myself into? I'm going to this haunted house, and I don't know what I'm doing. But the soldier in me is like, let's kill this thing.
Hurry on.
Yeah, let's get it. And we get to the house, and before I even walk in, I could just feel like this something's watching me. Something wasn't right. I could feel it. And I walked in the house, and everything looked okay. It was a little darker than the house should be. But then she showed me my room. I walked in my room, and it smelled like a rotting animal. I was like, "Do you smell that?" And she's like, "No."
Mhm.
I was like, "That this is horrible." I didn't want to be rude,
Yeah.
because I got to stay there for the next week. So I was like, okay. This is where I'm sleeping. She's like, "This is where all the activity happens." I was like, "Okay." I'm like,
Oh,
I'm a tough guy. Let's take it head on. And within a half hour, I get this orb. Like, I'm not talking dust, man, because I can see it with my naked eye as
right.
well as on my camera, and it's moving. And I was like, okay, so we got something here that wants to play. So, push comes to shove, and then the next night I was doing some K2 readings, walking around. I had my cat balls placed out, and kind of keeping record of where they're going off and stuff. And the only two places in the house where it smelled like that was in my room, and then the laundry room. So it was really weird. Those were the only two rooms.
Were those two rooms connected in any way other than
No. So,
no?
so one room was right here. There's a hallway right here, and then there's a room right here, and then the laundry room is right here.
Wow.
So
I'm
it was.
sorry. I don't mean to be laughing. I'm trying to picture in my head what he's doing because I
Oh,
can't
I know
see what
because
he's
your
talking
phone's.
about. No, that's okay. I'm trying to. So if you see my eyes closing, I'm not ignoring you guys. I'm literally trying to picture this.
They're
But
good.
were there things in the walls? Did you find out if any dead animals were in the walls? Like you were able to rule that out
No,
right
I
off the bat?
see. I even crawled under the house in the crawl space just to
Nice.
check.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
took me like 2 hours, and I hate spiders and snakes, and I'm just like, oh, this sucks. This sucks. I'm like, this sucks.
Nice.
But there was
Yeah.
nothing
That's
underneath
good.
there. Didn't see any mold. Didn't
Yeah.
see any of holes or rodents. It was sealed off. So
Yeah.
that
Definitely
kind of
sounds
validated.
demonic. Is that what you
Yeah,
got?
yeah. So that's what I felt, and
Hey, Keith.
that night when I was getting ready to go to bed, I just did my final readings, walking around the house. And as I'm walking towards my room, I look to that room to the left, and I see a full-bodied apparition of a woman with her hands crossed looking out the window. And I'm like, nope. And I turned right into my room. I said, I pulled the blanket over and put my headphones on. I'm like, I am not ready for that.
Was she naked, a naked ghost, or did she have clothes
No,
on?
she had like a dress on, like a wedding dress or like a fancy dress.
Could you tell
It
what
was
period it was from? Like
really,
what year?
like
What period?
70s, 80s, like a 70s, 80s type of nice dress. And I told the owner about it, and she said my mom died in that room.
Oh, nice.
And so get this. So then right after she told me that, I said, you know what? Hold on. I went and got a cat ball, put it in the center of the room, and I stood there in the back corner, not able to set it off. And I said, was that you, Sharon, that was here last night? And the thing went off just for like a full minute. And those things turn off after like 10 seconds. So,
Right.
I like
yeah.
those balls.
Yeah. So
I've used a lot of those things, the light ups. I love those.
that's when I knew I was going to be okay, because I could feel she was there helping me. So what ended up happening is I ended up trapping this evil entity, demon, whatever, into a doll, and we wrapped it up and we got rid of it. So
Now, how were you able to get the entity into the doll? What did you?
it was in that closet, and what I was using was like a salt water, because based off of what I was thinking in science is that salt can kill a plant, It can kill a human.
Right.
You don't see ghosts walking in the ocean. So I'm like, fuck it, let's try salt water. So I did a 50-50 mix and sprayed it in there and held my spirit box up to it, and it said, I can't get out. And I said, oh, good. And we put it in the trash bag and then sprayed the trash bag and then put in another one and sprayed it. And then the box, I sprayed the box, and then we got rid of it. So they've been good ever since. So
That's a pretty slick move. That really
Yeah.
is a pretty slick move. Yeah.
Well, I just used everything I researched, man. I mean, you look at witches use salt to protect themselves. You look at Christianity; they put it on the windowsills, and I mean,
think all religions actually use a form of salt.
yeah. But
A lot
if you
of people
think
don't
about
know
what salt
that.
does,
Yeah.
if you think about what salt does, it neutralizes energy.
Right.
So if I spray it everywhere, then no matter where I spray it, it should land on it and kind of make it weaker. So
Yeah, our dad used to say, take salt water and clean the batteries with it.
Oh,
Put a
there you
tube
go.
on.
That's right. He did, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, very true.
Because it eats acid as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It neutralizes any energy, basically.
Not any, just negative.
Just
Negative. Yeah, negative energy.
Now, did you check the history on the house on top of everything else that you did?
No. You know, I wanted to, and I kind of dug into it, but what I was feeling was just go with your gut. You know, live in the now. Just trust your gut is what I kept hearing in my head. So
no, that makes sense. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
because if you plan ahead, Murphy's gonna screw you, and I saw that many times in the army. So I just live in the now, man.
This is true. This is so true. I mean, a lot of times you see that you prepare for something and there's always a twist.
What?
Yeah, if you plan it, something's gonna happen.
Right.
That's like if you want to make God laugh, you know, tell him your future plans.
Yeah. Ha ha, silly.
Yeah, just imagine that big laugh, that
What?
fellow laugh.
Sorry, it's my dog.
Little man.
It keeps running in and out. Go see Daddy.
So
What's
here's,
that?
here's another question. Let's go back a little bit. Let's go back into your time in the field.
Okay.
A little bit of recall, if you can. Do you recall the entities that you may have ran into while you were in the desert?
When we first got there, when we crossed the border in Kuwait, it took us 3 days to get up to Habaniya, which is right by Fallujah,
Right.
and we were attacked on the second day and the third day, just trying to get there, and then they kind of gave us a break, you know, until Halloween. So it was like a full month, you know, that they were studying us and stuff. But on that fourth night, when we got to the abandoned air base in Habaniya, I remember they said, okay, third platoon's in this building, second platoon, first platoon. So we went into the buildings, all the gunners slept together, like in the same little rooms, and then all the drivers. And as me and my buddy, you know, we're getting ready to lay down to go to bed in the sand with our sleeping bag just on the sand, and there's all these sand fleas and crap around. As we're laying down there getting ready to go to sleep, it's perfectly quiet, and we're in an abandoned airfield. All of a sudden, we both heard children laughing. Children, like a whole group of children just laughing at the same time. He sat up first, and I was like, yeah, did you hear that? He's like, yeah, where the hell are we? I'm like, dude, I don't know, man. I'm like, it's like 1 a.m. There is no children out there, dude.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
that was my first experience over there. Yeah.
Do you recall if there how many full moons it might have been where y'all were in transit or anything like that?
Actually, I remember. I think it was half moon when we were traveling. I remember making note of it because the moon looked a lot bigger over there because there wasn't as much emissions in the air, and it was clearer. But yeah, I
Go
think it was
figure.
a half moon. I'm sure you can look up the lunar cycle. It was in September 2003. Yeah,
Good
when we
question.
crossed that
I saw when
border.
you gone with it after that. That was
Yeah.
good. So, you've had a lot of experiences. You had a few things. And I remember you telling me about that story. I'm like, oh, that's a really good point to start out with. Because how many people are going to think you're going to hear children on an abandoned, Air Force
Well,
base?
Did
well,
y'all
yeah,
run
even in the middle of a room full of soldiers, it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Did y'all run
There's
into any haboos?
no powers. There was no sheep or camels. There was nothing around us. Like we were in this air base, and it took a while to get through everything, so it made no sense to us. And I remember it spooked us pretty good. So
Did you run into any haboos while you were there?
no.
You know what I'm talking about, the dust storm. They call them haboos.
Yeah, no, we got a lot of rain. It was a rainy season when we were there. We were right next to the Euphrates there. We were protecting a bridge that was their supply line.
Hey,
So
Lisa.
that's where we always got attacked.
Mm.
But let's just keep moving forward to it because we want people
Yeah.
to go see your episode.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah.
So we don't want to dive too much, but you did have some other experiences and unique things happen while you were there. So we want to
Yep.
encourage you travelers to go check out, his event. Check out the series he was on to hear
Yep.
his tale. Um,
Mission Unexplained, episode number 3.
there it is.
Season 1, 2, or 3? Season 1?
It's only one season so far.
Oh,
It was the
okay.
first show.
All right.
Very cool.
Awesome.
So from that point, and now you've been in the paranormal a good point in time. You and AJ do some really good things, and you and Robin, um, you've been experiencing a lot of the use of EVPs, and now you put your hands on a lot of good equipment and your own instincts. What is at this point? What is the primary uh, event that's stuck out in your mind so far of encounters or something that just is it's just like wow, your wow moment?
I mean, each one was so unique in its own way. Um, like the family in Tennessee that reached out to me. The wife of the house was actually pulled by her hair over the couch and dragged down the hall while the husband was sitting in the chair.
Oh wow.
And that's when I was like, okay, I feel like gotta help him. So I bought a ticket to Tennessee, went out there, and it ended up being her mom.
Oh wow.
Her mom was crying for help and wanted her and her sister to be closer because they hadn't talked before for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got there, I'm saying, your mom says she wants your sister here. And she's like, well, I haven't talked to her. I'm like, well, that's what she's saying. And I let her listen to the evidence. I'm like, if you hear something different, please tell me,
Right.
you know? Uh, and it was the first investigation that none of my cat balls went off or anything. And I was getting kind of worried, but I was getting these great audio responses. And I remember that it was like the second day I was in the back room where stuff was happening, and I had a Polaroid camera, and I took the picture, and sure as shit, there's a spirit standing behind me in the picture. I could see it in the mirror,
Right.
and I tried to debunk it. I used like $100 worth of film trying to do the same shot, and I couldn't do it.
Well, I think that sounds,
Yeah.
that's a pretty significant point of view. If you went through all that trouble to try to debunk it and you still couldn't get it, I mean that says.
Now, whereabouts in Tennessee
Well,
was your lady from?
Oh man, I think they picked me up at the Nashville airport. It was in that area. I think it's more on the western side of Tennessee.
See, you're talking an old Polaroid that you put the cassette in and the
Yeah.
film comes directly out, right? Now, cameras
Yeah.
like that, including a 35 millimeter camera, if you can develop your own film, those don't have all the
Yeah.
all the new fancy stuff on it, the filters. So they do pick up evidence more than something modern day would because of the new filters we all have on the cameras. So I mean that's a good camera to have. Sorry, repeating myself, but it really is.
No,
I
I
like those. Yeah.
I love it. I try to use it as much as possible. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture real quick.
While you're doing that, I just want to bring something up. That's pretty ironic that you said that, Susan. As we
Wow.
go back and we talk about filters, about pictures, think about audio. The filters now
Yeah.
that we didn't have back then, there was pure audio. Again, same thing with video. I mean,
Yep.
back then, back even 15 years ago, audio was completely, or video was completely different than it is now. So you get a lot of clearness. I mean, that's a very good point.
So I'm in this room. There's nothing behind me but a wall. So if you look right next to the flash, there's a body right next to that flash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty.
That's a hell of a shot.
Sorry, I can't see it.
This isn't. I'm trying.
Yeah. No, that was out of the mirror. The mirror was looking right behind me, and I was so shocked by it. I mean, if you watch the video, I'm like, what the hell is that?
Right.
So I just started debunking it. I'm like, take as many as you can. Try to do it again.
Well, sometimes you can't because the way that it actually flashes out. And it's like the new, it's like the recorders that I use are the ones for bands. Because a band, when you use how you're trying to record music for a band, and when you get a microphone for something like that, a recorder for those, it's a lot easier to have a widespread band where you can pick 1, 2, 3, 4 channels that actually record all at the same time. So you can listen to, you have a backup. So you have channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, channel 4, and sometimes they don't correspond. So, okay, that's not anything. So it's like backing up the video like you guys talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So that whole first year of my investigations, I used an old tape recorder with this old 70s microphone.
Yep.
And I would hit record, set it in the closet. I'd wrap the microphone around the bar and make sure it's suspended to catch anything. And I got the craziest EVPs. Like I would have to listen to a lot of tape just to hear something. But once I caught it, I couldn't believe it. And it was on the old 80s recording tapes,
Yeah. Also the first digital ones too. The very, very first digital series. Those are awesome too. Sorry, I love audio. Go ahead.
So, what's your favorite piece of item to use now? That you've had a chance
to be honest with you, I'm the best piece of it, because I can my stuff is advanced so much that I can kind of feel, okay, something's here. If I want to decide what's here, I'll use my SB7 and I'll try to communicate with them, and I'll set like 2 or 3 cat balls around the room, and that's all I really need. The biggest thing is power, like a power situation. I got a big battery box, so if I'm in an abandoned location or someplace that doesn't have a plug, I could just plug it into that to run everything. So
Lisa says, look what Ed Warren would use. Yeah, he used reel to reel.
Yep.
And then 35mm, roller cop. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Valid points.
I like the fact that you keep things simple and you go from your gut when you talking about capture an entity and put it in a garbage bag. I mean, that's something like Howie and I would have done back in the day with simple stuff that you had to work with, trying to come up with ideas on trying to be
I
technical.
told the husband, take this and get rid of it. Don't tell me where it's at. I don't want to know. You're the only one that knows. So, and he did. So it's gone.
You had to bring the trash bag up again, didn't you?
No, like the magnetic wall thing, the stud finder that we would use for if it was a solid object or something, it would come up.
I forgot.
So the funny thing about that doll that
he's out. Sorry, dude.
the funny thing about that doll is she completely forgot it was in that closet. And when one night I was getting strange stuff off of it and strange voices coming out, I asked her, I said, what's the story with this creepy doll without the eyes? And she's like, what doll without the eyes? It should have eyes in it. And there were no eyes. Like they're the porcelain ones, like you could push them in, but they would be inside the head. We rattled the head and the eyeballs weren't in there. They weren't on the ground. Nobody sleeps in that room. So the eyeballs just disappeared.
There's no eyeballs in the head.
I was like, this thing likes to hide in here. So I just started spraying it with the salt water.
You will stay in there.
And it was trapped in there, man. So yeah.
That's awesome.
It's supposed to sound like a paint can.
No, the cool thing was that once I started spraying it, the smell would disappear. Like it completely disappeared after I started spraying that doll.
Wow.
What did that smell like? Did it smell like
rotting meat?
Old people?
Like rotten meat. Like
demonic
meat that's been sitting in the sun. And it was only in that room and in the laundry room.
What did you do to try and keep it down? Try to keep the smell down? Baking soda?
Dude, it was my first investigation. I was so scared. I didn't care about the smell. I don't want something to fuck me up. Throw me across the room. So I just laid in that bed with my headphones on, like, go to sleep. Go to sleep. So. But it worked, man. I think the faith that I put in myself for helping them, I think that's what helped overcome. Plus, I think her mom knew that I was there for the right intentions, and she helped too. So, yeah.
I can see you now. I'm in the Enemyville house. Please get me out of this live board.
That's what I felt like, man. I'm like, am I going to wake up tomorrow? I don't know.
They done stripped my clothes.
I'm like waiting for something to touch my feet or something. I'm just like, oh god.
Hey, how you doing?
But nothing really happened. Yeah, just some cat balls and some EVPs and spirit box sessions. Yeah. That's when I knew it wasn't that bad. I can do this. So
we've passed the test. So
that's the way I felt, and they've been good ever since. So
well, since you've been in the field and since you've been in through the military and prior to the military and now, I'm sure you've seen a lot of changes in the paranormal. What kind of things have you seen change that have been for the better of the community?
Well, I think for the future paranormal investigators, you have to accept skepticism. Like you have to accept their views, because there is so much stuff out there now that can fake these videos. That's why I always make sure to use a timestamp or go live. If I record anything without that, I won't even accept it, even though I was there and it happened. I'm like, because people won't believe it. Right. But the way everything's going now, everybody's using all this computer animation and AI stuff, and I think it's going to really damage, what true investigators are doing.
Maybe that's what they want to do. I
Yeah, it
didn't even
might
think
be,
about that.
but
Yeah.
I just wish they would go live more. Like, there are a lot of great investigators. I just don't see them ever going live. They just show their clips, and it's just not
Well,
just
some
going to do it.
people, some individuals, like some particular cases that I have been involved on from my experience, and I'm way older than you. So, way back in the day when we had the horse and buggy back then, no. Some
Oh,
people, they
Jesus.
don't want, they don't want them, they're out, they don't want to show their house. They don't want anybody to know what's going through. So
Yeah.
a lot of times, those
Yeah.
particular cases, you can't go live. And it's like you're only allowed, it's not about sharing the evidence in those particular cases. It's more about keeping them safe.
Yeah,
So
no,
it just
exactly.
depends. It really depends.
And a lot of my clients felt that way. That's why I was like, it will stay in the other room. I'm just in this room. Nobody will know your house by a room, and the lights are off, and I'm just trying to communicate and get rid of this thing for you. And they're like, okay, I understand. So I think it's how you, like I said, your intentions. Like, you're there to help them, and I understand that they want their privacy and stuff, but I'm not going all over your house. I'm just doing this room,
Yeah,
there might be one or two people that recognize it, and they're your friends. So
they got a right to privacy too, and you're
they
trying to
do.
get something out of their home to help them.
It's the law.
It's the law.
It's the law.
Yeah.
No, I made a waiver sheet and stuff that gave me the right to record and
There you go. Yeah, that's what a lot of people. Yeah, I was just saying a generalization, but I'm glad you brought the waiver thing up because a lot of these new groups don't understand. You need waivers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any
I also made my company an LLC as well, and so they can't go after my personal stuff if for some god awful reason something happens. So
yeah, it's very true. It's very true. A lot of people don't understand. You could take a picture, and this is most states. So if you take a picture of someone's home, that's technically not your picture.
Bingo.
If you take
It
a
is.
picture,
That's the way it is. Yeah.
yeah, if you take a picture of a car, anything of their personal, that is the right of that owner, not of you. And a lot of people don't know that. You need to have the right to say yay or nay to have that, and that's what the waiver does: is give permission to use or deny the pictures on location, whichever.
no, I went to a place in Kansas and told them to sign it before I started the investigation, and if they had any questions, I'm right here to answer them. And she's reading through it. She's like, "What do you mean you get the right to go live?" I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to establish that paranormal is real, and I'm trying to prove to people that it's real. So I have to go live and I have to videotape." And she said, "Well, I can't sign this." I said, "Well, I can't help you. I want to help you, but I'm not
But that's
gonna
honesty. I
do
mean,
that."
you had the right to say, well, okay, this is your SOPs, standard operating procedure. If they can't deal with your SOP, then you have the right to do the same thing as the client and go, we can't come to a working terms. I understand.
And I went out there on my dime. I drove 5 hours to Kansas, and now I have no case for 3 days. So
Exactly.
I gotta go back.
That's one of those rare times that it does happen. See, we may film, but we don't do live when we're on private investigations, or even in an active location, unless we have that permission. But that's part of our waiver. Like, we understand this. We're going to take it. We need to review it. However, there are times like such here's a cabin. I have written permission from both Ryan and Dennis to go live to do the show on the premises. And that's also through Hanover Sheriff's Department. So Hanover will come here every Sunday night. So it's legit. You got to cover your butt. You got to work with your people and with your clients.
Yeah, you do. It's not just your people, but you also need written agreements with your investigators. What if one of your investigators trips and falls? They broke their ankle. That's it. I'm suing this. I'm suing everybody. You
Exactly.
need all of that legal documentation as backup for everything.
Yeah.
That's why I work alone.
Yeah. Everything.
Yeah, Howard went through that when we were doing it.
Yeah, oh yeah, I went through every waiver documentation, everything that was needed to make sure. I even created what they call a communication letter that would go and hang on the front door or hang at the at a mailbox.
Like a work permit.
Yeah, so if the officer does come up, they can see it. They can see the number to contact of the person, especially if the person was on property.
Yeah, just tape it on the car window.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Jonathan, unfortunately, we're at the top of the hour. Mama, we're flown. We're at the end.
I didn't see much of it. Don't worry, I'll watch it later. I heard everything.
But yeah, so right now I just work cold cases. I've been doing a lot of work. If you want to check it out, it's targeting with the JK-47. It's on Tuesdays at noon Mountain Time, so 2 p.m. Eastern. Check it out. I just finished the Ellen Ray Greenberg case, so I'm trying to find a new one that's speaking to me. So yeah, check that out too. That's what I do now. So.
And you're also one of the hosts of
Talking with the Source. Yep, on Sundays at 2 p.m. my time, 4 p.m. Eastern. So
there it is. And tomorrow night we want to catch Joni on Mysteries Behind the Scenes. It's gonna be another great show. Then Sue, you think you're gonna be ready for Tuesday? No.
I'm still missing 2 parts. I'm still money short from the parts. I can't see. So I could do a show, but I can't see or read any comments.
Yeah, so
trust your spirit.
That's the problem.
What did you call me?
And I am extremely interactive with my people.
Very much.
Just the way that I am. I like to personally interact with everybody, whether I'm doing readings or helping or self-help. I want to acknowledge that either they have pain or stuff. So I am literally very close to my goal. I'm now down to $157 I have to make. Once the money comes in, then I can order the last 2 pots. This started, a week ago? Almost $1,000 worth of pots. I needed $1,000 worth of pots. This is all the left that I need for money. So it's literally, I've been hustling my butt off.
Hustle.
Help her out, people.
That's right. I've been getting there. I need to come back. Guys, listen, I miss you. I can't see anything. I need to come back. No, I'm just kidding. I really do need to come back.
Yeah.
I'm going nuts not doing a show. I find I'm sitting outside with my phone and I'm sitting here pretending I'm doing a show to people that are in the damn thing while they're trying to smoke a bloody cigarette. Okay, but they're in
the neighbors are going to start to talk.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? We're all over that. When they go, that's pretty cool. Oh yeah, I've been entertaining guys out there. The guys, the girls, who knows? I've been entertaining people out there. So, got to keep it fresh. Got to keep it going. But I am so close right now. One more pot I order tomorrow because I got to make another deposit. And then the last 2 pots are the most expensive pots. So, that's the last 2 pots. I have money that will be coming in, but it's not in yet. So, I am getting there. Are you next to, airplanes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You're the one next to the airplanes. Who is the dude in the background that keeps saying, what up? Not what's up. What up?
Huh? Here?
Somebody keeps saying, what up?
Probably
all
my
time
brother.
during the show. Okay. Yo, what up? Yo, what up?
Bro.
What do you mean, what up?
What up, bro?
Sorry. Yeah, what up? So, yeah. To me, it's what's up. So I will be back as soon as I can. Don't mind me. Howie's so used to me jumping subjects left and right. I blame it on the blonde hair. So, But I will be back as soon as I can. And when I get back, I'm rolling.
There it is.
Yeah.
And Jonathan, thank you so much for taking the time to come on and speak with us tonight.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for John.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Love and light to you guys. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And travelers, and virtue be yours, and we'll see you on the other side.
Rock on!
Peace.